Hey everyone, it's Michael here at FarmFlight again. Well, it's been a crazy year. I think I said that in my last video after the hailstorm, but it got even more crazy, didn't it? So I wanted to make just a summary video from season start to season end because there were a lot of things that we saw and we found using the remote sensing technology that we have here at FarmFlight, and then also just the field in general gave us a lot of different themes. And unfortunately, one of those things was the hail event and how that corn responded after such an event. So if you want to dive into those events specifically, there's a few videos here on the UNL Taps YouTube channel, and they dive into that specifically. So this is going to be more of a generalized overview, a little bit shorter than the other videos, and encourage you to go on our platform, take a look for yourself, spend a little bit more time diving into it. So here we are, this is June the 7th. Now this is a little bit later than we would typically fly for a stand count. This corn's about V3, maybe late stage of V2 on a couple of them based on the GDUs on the variety number there. And so usually to do stand count, we want to be around that V1 to V2 time frame, just in case there is an issue out in the field and the farmer needs to go back and do a replant. He's able to do that in a timely manner. So here's what we look like about V3. Now the next flight, again, Mother Nature did not play nice with us, so we did not get in there for another solid 40 days until that second flight. And so this corn here, you'll see, is almost a canopy. We're V5, V6 time frame here. We have already done our side dress application, and of course fertigation is still coming, but the main side dress pass is already completed. So this specific image was not used in that. Had it have been used in that, you can use the NDRE layer, and that's more the chlorophyll layer, and it will show you more, how green that crop is, and then you can base your recommendations for variable rate nitrogen off of that. Now you also see cloud shadows here in this image, and we talk about why cloud shadows play an important role in imagery with calibrations. And because we use a drone for this during this time of the year, we have a calibrated image. And so if we were to go to the NDVI or the NDRE layer, those cloud shadows will be minimized. And if you use a satellite, it's not going to be calibrated. So it's going to be even more difficult to make those recommendations off of the NDVI or the NDRE layer if they provide that, because it's factoring in those cloud shadows. So this is the last flight we have before that hailstorm moved in. You can see we've got really good leaf matter here, good biomass, plants are looking really good. And then we come in a few weeks after that hailstorm, about 10 days I think it is, and you're going to see a lot of the leaf mass, the biomass of these corn plants has been stripped away. So I don't remember the exact numbers that Crystal told me was. I know it's pretty significant out here, and you can see that on the image. When this loads, I have not shifted the perspective of this image at all. We are looking at the same plots we were looking at in the same part of the field we were looking at on that very first flight in June 7th, and we will continue that view all the way to the end of the year. So when this loads here, rural America is struggling with fast internet. So once this gets loaded here, you can really see just how much biomass of this plant has been stripped away. Now, if we were to zoom in here, you could really get in and understand just how much is gone. There is a way we can run some calculations on that and see the tonnage potentially that was lost. It's not exact science, but it'll get you a little bit closer if you have a before and after to see just how much biomass was gone. And if I go forward one more flight here, do take note, we still have pretty good level of green all the way across these individual fields here. When we go to the next one just 4 days later, it will look very similar, but you'll start to see a few of these plants already turning brown, and they're already senescing down. They've already started a process that normally would start, a good 30 days from now, maybe 3 weeks, depending on heat and GDUs, right? So it's concerning when we saw this come in. We start seeing these plants dry down a little bit faster. How are they going to treat the kernel? And, what are they going to do inside that husk that we can't necessarily see? You can see just overall, they're just not quite as green as they were a few days before that. If we go out a month, you're going to see, this is pretty interesting. So you're going to see a lot of these fields have senesced way down. They're going to look a lot more brown versus the level of green that they were. And this is really more of a testament to how the genetics in each of these plots handled the stress of having the biomass stripped away, coupled with the GDUs that they received, coupled with the heat stress, the water stress, and because there's so many different management strategies that go on here, you can't point your finger to any one of those and say, hey, this is what caused the problem on this specific plot or the specific part of the field. But there's a lot of things that go on in this flight between this one and the last one, and as soon as this loads here, you'll see it. So why is understanding this important? Let's say that this is across your entire field, or even worse, your entire operation. You are expecting to take that combine in there and harvest at 18%, 20%. Maybe the high moisture guys are listening and they're going to be looking at 22, 23% perhaps for silage or other means, right? And so you're going to be expecting that, and after such a hail event that we had, you're not sure how they're going to respond. And we need to monitor that because the timing has all shifted, the moisture content has all shifted, and the test weight, of course, has all shifted as well. And you can see, I mean, yeah, we've got some differences going on in each field specifically, and usually that's caused, just by soil differences rather than the genetic. But look at the difference between this one, the one right here, and the one just to the west of it. Even still, understanding what's going on across that field is going to help you make a more timely decision to go in and harvest that field. Potentially, hey, do I need to add a corn reel this year? Did a lot of the plants go down? Or am I expecting the plants to go down if I get a good breeze that moves across them, right? So we can start making some of these decisions by looking at the imagery. Now we'll go forward another 2 weeks, and what was green, of course, is no longer green. But we'll start to see in this image some standability issues. In just a short 2 weeks' time, you'll start to see more of these plants leaning over. You'll see more of the tops broke out of them. And after this, we had a windstorm that went through again. We had created more stress and more damage. And so understanding what the corn, in this case, looks like before you go out in the field helps you understand how that combine needs to be set up. Maybe the corn head needs set up differently. Maybe we need to put new ear savers or gathering chains on our corn head. Maybe we need to adjust the deck plates a little bit more and make sure the automatic adjust is functioning correctly the way that it's supposed to. If we have a dryer, how do we need to set that dryer up? Do we need to buy more fuel for that dryer? Do we have enough manpower to handle this with everything else that's being thrown our way because the timeline has been shifted? So you can see just how different this looks in just really a month and a half here. Understanding, again, what the imagery shows you can really help understand the field in general. So I encourage everyone to get into our platform, play with all these layers, measure around, measure distances, take a look at things specifically, find your plot in here and see, hey, did this decision perhaps change my outcome? Did I stay greener longer? And was that because of variety difference? Or maybe I put extra water down and so I had more biomass to begin with potentially. So hopefully this helps you make some decisions moving into 2024. If you have any questions, once again, please reach out to Crystal there at UNL Taps or my contact information, which is here on the screen.